Alright, let me make this quick video on importing models into Unreal. There's kind of two main ways that we know about. The one is just kind of bringing it in and checking the combine checkbox, and then you get this model here. Or if you have a bunch of components, you can not check that and you get a bunch of models, but if you look, the pivot is at origin, which is how Unreal brings things in by default. But in my modeling program, Blender here, it's like I put a lot of work into making sure the pivots are in the exact right spot, you know? So it rotates around the, kind of turret correctly. This little door back here rotates correctly. I have the shell separate and that origined where I want it to be. And I don't really want it with these offsets. So there's actually a third way of importing things into Unreal that there's a few videos on, but I'm just going to try to cover that as quickly as possible here. And you're going to export your mesh as normal. You can keep everything separate. I called mine turret scene because, as you'll find out, this method uses something called an FBX scene. So the one thing you'll want to do here is create a new folder to bring in your model. And then I'm going to, normally you can just drag your model like this. This is the typical import, but you don't actually want to use this. You want to do add, click this little button here, add import, and then import to game, or yes. And then you scroll down here, FBX scene, and turret scene. So that's our mesh, and then that will bring up this box here. For my particular mesh, this may not be true with yours. I want to keep the vertex colors. I want to not remove degenerates. I don't want to generate UV lighting, and I want to import the normals instead of computing the normals and use the built-in method there. And when you click that, it will both generate it in whatever folder you have open, and it will actually dump it into your current scene. And if you look here, that's not actually going to move since everything's set to static. If you look here, all the origins are preserved and even the hierarchy. So for example, this barrel is kind of parented to the barrel housing, but you notice it still has its own parenting. So this is kind of a really handy method to maintain your hierarchy, maintain all your pivots. It is a bit more of a hassle if you want to update things. You technically still can, because you can re-import with a new file. But for example, if you dramatically change your scene layout, sometimes Unreal can get confused. Or if you rename things within Blender. So you kind of want to have the naming convention and hierarchy how you want it, and then you can bring it into Unreal that way. All right, this was made as kind of a quick little thing since I feel like it gets ignored. I'm gonna set all these to movable so I can kind of move it around. And that's that. All right, good luck.